Okay, so I guess we'll start today by me explaining to you the laws of confidentiality. My name is Andrea. I'll be your counselor, and we'll use this first session just to get kind of familiar with what your problem is, what you think some solutions to it. See if we can find some alternatives that might work for you, and just get to know each other a little bit. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, if you can fill out this form for me, this just basically says that everything that we talk about today will be regarded as confidential and it won't be shared with anyone outside of this office. So you can put your name there and the date, and then if you sign down at the bottom. Yeah, just go ahead and fill that out. Okay, so when we talked on the phone earlier, you said that you had recently completed college and that you completed an internship and that you were um, trying to decide what to do. You've been offered a job someplace, but it's several hundred miles from where you live right now. So I guess what we'll start out today to do is just kind of look at what you think are the things that are standing in the way of you taking the job and what you think you might be able to do to reconcile some of those things. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? You graduated from college recently?
Yep.
Like how long ago?
2 months ago.
Okay.
December.
Okay.
3 months
And
ago.
what is your major?
General business.
All right. And so you said also that you've been working in an internship?
Yep.
And you're doing what right now? What is that internship?
It's for marketing.
Marketing. Okay. So the job you have right now is an internship, but it can turn into a full-time job for you?
Right.
Okay. And I think you mentioned on the phone that basically most of your family is here and the person that you've been dating for the last couple of years is here. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So, long-term speaking, what basically do you want to achieve through in your career professionally?
Get into sports marketing.
Sports marketing. Okay, and so would that be working in advertising or?
Yeah. Advertising, marketing for maybe specific franchise.
Okay.
Sports team, specific franchise.
Okay. So more than likely that type of job is going to require you to live um, probably in a larger city or near a larger city.
Right.
Okay. Um, and where you live right now, would it be possible for you to find a job in that field?
No.
Okay. And how soon would you have to give them an answer as to whether or not you want to take the job that they've offered you?
20 to 30 days.
20 to 30 days, okay. Where is the job?
It's in Houston.
In Houston, okay. And that would be about 4 to 5 hours from where you live now?
Right.
Is that correct? Okay. And have you looked at all the particulars of the job, what it would cost you to live?
Some of that stuff, yeah. Not all of it.
Okay. And do you have the support of your family in this? Are they willing to?
Mm-hmm.
They're okay with you
Yep.
being that far away? But the person that you're dating is not?
No.
And is that person still in college or working in this area?
Working in this area.
Okay. And is that the basic reason that she really doesn't want to move?
Pretty much.
And what other things are holding her back from moving?
Her family's here too.
Her family is here as well. Okay. Is the job that you're looking at now, is there a possibility that eventually you could work yourself back in to living in this area or living closer at home?
In the Dallas area, possibly.
All right. And have they told you how long they would want you to stay at that job in that position before you would be able to make a move?
No.
Okay. And have you looked at the benefits of the job and what the salary will be?
Yes.
Well, tell me a little bit about that.
It's better compared to what I do now. It's better salary.
And do they offer a good benefits package?
Yes.
Health insurance, dental
Mhm.
insurance, and a retirement plan, and
Right.
all of those things. Okay. The internship that you have right now is not something that will be permanent. There's a time limit on it. When you finish your
It's
internship hours, then
just
you'll need to
temporary.
temporary until you find something. Okay, so basically you're working in a field that you enjoy. Um, Typically internships don't pay all that much, so this would be quite an increase for you financially.
Yes.
Okay, how much more money would you be making?
We'll only get paid by the hour right now. The new job will be salary based.
Okay. All right. And is this the first job offer you've had?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think there's a possibility that some jobs could open up closer to where you live now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess the things that you're kind of looking at are that your internship will end. When is it planned to end?
Into May.
At the end of May. So probably within a few months, the internship will be over, and you're not really sure whether or not you'll have employment following that. But if you take the job that this company you're doing the internship with has offered you, then for sure you would have a job coming out of it. Do you have to sign a contract with them when you have to be there for a given period of time?
With the new company?
If you take the job, the company that you're with now, the
No.
internship. Okay, so there's a possibility you could work there for a year and get some experience and something to build your resume with while you were looking for something that would let you move closer to home.
Okay.
Is it possible for your girlfriend what type of work does she do?
She's in. She does sales
Okay,
for Frito Lay.
okay. And is it a possibility that she could take that position and transfer to where you want to relocate?
Yeah, she can transfer.
Okay. How long would it be if she were to put in for a transfer now? How long would it be between now and the time she was able to leave?
It'll probably take a few months.
Okay. So, how does she feel about just relocating to Houston, transferring from where, with the company she's with now, and living there for, say, a period of a year or so, and then slowly working your way back to where you're closer to home?
She doesn't like the Houston area.
Okay. And so she wouldn't be even willing to live there for just a limited period of time, like 1 year or so?
Probably not.
Okay. So what are some options that you all have talked about, some alternatives you've considered?
Finding something closer, Dallas, Fort Worth area.
Okay. And what do you think the likelihood is of you being able to find something pretty quickly after you complete your internship?
I could probably find something else before the internship is over. It's probably likely.
Okay.
In the Dallas area.
Would you be coming out of school? You probably have student loans that you'll be responsible for soon. Do you know when you'll have to start paying those?
Within 6 months after graduation.
Okay. And Do you know about what your payment will be to repay
It'd
those?
be around $100
Okay.
to 100 to 120.
Okay.
something like
So basically, you could take a job that was not in the field you want to work in, just to be able to get by financially until you could find something in the field you want to work in.
Mm.
Is that correct?
Yep.
So you've talked this over with your parents, and what have they given you any idea of what they think you should do?
No. Just whatever, whatever I decide, whatever makes me happy.
Okay. Okay. So how adamant is your girlfriend about not living in Houston? Is it absolutely she wants to end the relationship if you decide to move there, if you decide to take the job, or
Yes.
okay. How do you feel about that?
It's a tough decision between the job and her.
Okay. So really your immediate decision right now is to decide whether or not between now and May that you move, and if you decide to move, then you're also facing the possibility that it will end your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I think probably a good place for us to start is just to kind of look at what your priorities are right now. If your priorities are your relationship, or if they are your job. If you were to pass this position up, this opportunity up right now, do you think that you could go back in, say, 6 months and reapply with this company if you're not able to find something in this area?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
So if you don't take the job they're offering you following the internship, it's probably pretty likely that you wouldn't be able to get a job with them.
Yeah, more than likely.
About how much money do you need to make to be able to support yourself and meet your financial obligations of paying back your student loan?
Probably at least 40,000 a year.
Okay. And what are they offering you to take the job in Houston?
Slightly more than that.
Slightly more than that. If you were to stay here and work in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, could you find a job close to
Probably so.
what they're offering you now? You think
Probably around 40.
Probably around 40. Okay.
Maybe a little less.
If you were to decide to go ahead and stay here for the sake of keeping your relationship going, do you think that there would be a time that you would regret making that decision?
Possible, since the new job is like once in a lifetime kind of thing. The new job.
Okay, why do you think it's a once in a lifetime thing?
It's with a big company that rarely hires, so I wouldn't get another chance more than likely to work for them.
Okay, and this is a company that's fairly reputable, well known in the field you want to work in.
Yes.
Okay, so it would also be something that would really boost your career quite a bit.
Right.
Okay. How would your girlfriend feel about you living down there through the week when you did your job, and then coming home on the weekends to visit, and her going down to visit you? Do you think that's something she would be willing to do?
Yeah, we could possibly do that.
Okay. Is that something, have you mentioned that to her?
We talked about that.
Okay. So, where do you really think you are right now in reaching a decision?
Still not sure, since there's still a few months to decide.
Okay. So, your biggest worry right now, is it losing your relationship with your girlfriend, or passing up an opportunity that you feel you might not get again? If you had to put one ahead of the other.
Probably the job.
Okay. Do you think that as the months go by, if you continue talking with her about how important this would be for your career, that she might come to realize the possibilities and be willing to negotiate and compromise some? Or do you think that she's just very settled into her decision not to move?
No, we could probably compromise. Still.
Okay, all right. So, probably as the months go by, because you do still have some time before you have to give them a decision, what do you think some things that you all could discuss that would help you come to a point where you were agreeable to a situation, something that would be a workable situation for the two of you?
Probably just make the whole living in Houston thing, that it's not a huge difference from living where we are now.
Okay. So, sometimes what helps when you're trying to make a decision like this is to sit down, especially when another person is involved in the decision, and both of you make a list of pros and cons, things that will be beneficial to you as an individual, each of you separately, and then things that would be a drawback to each of you separately, and then kind of bring those to the table and make a joint list where you could both look at where this would put you career-wise 5 years down the road, as opposed to turning down this offer, waiting until later. So, that might be something that you could go to her and say, I'd like to just sit down and kind of look at the pluses and the minuses of where we might be. How open do you think she would be to discussing that?
She's open to that.
Okay. So, do you feel a little bit better since we've talked? I mean, do you have a little better understanding of how you might be able to go out of here and work on this in the time that you have before you actually have to give this company a decision?
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of room for compromise and things like that. So.
Okay. So you feel a little less tense about it, a little less overwhelmed by it. See that there may be some options for you.
Right.
That the two of you can work out and look at together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, since we've talked and we've talked about you sitting down and making the list of things that would be positive about moving and things that would be, some drawbacks. For instance, being far away from your immediate family. Why don't you go and see if you can accomplish that over the next week? And we'll set up a time to meet again toward the end of next week, if that sounds good to you, and see how the conversation went with her. And then we can kind of go from there after we have that, that kind of framework of kind of where you all would like to be located, long term. If you're willing to do this temporarily, how long, things like that, how long you would have to live in Houston before you could work your way back to this area. And then we'll sit down and see what she had to say and see how you feel about it there.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, well, we'll look at a time then for you to come back toward the end of next week and see how she felt about everything after you had a conversation.
Okay,
Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you came today, and I'm glad we had this opportunity to talk and kind of sort through some of these things, and I look forward to you coming back and sharing your feedback with me next week.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you.